Hello everyone. Today we're going to take a look at selecting hours. It's about 2 minutes before 9:30, so I am intensely watching the clock because if I don't and I go in at 9:40, all the hours could be absolutely gone, snatched up, and then I won't have any hours to choose from. So here you see I have the app open and you can get to your hours a couple different ways. You can either use the dashboard where you can see select hours, or you can go in the upper left hand corner and towards the bottom where it says hours, you can select hours from there. But we're going to go ahead from the dashboard. And you can see my hours this week. Today is the 5th. I could pick up hours today if I wanted. I'm also going to show you how to cancel hours or cancel a shift. Unfortunately, the power steering pump went out in my truck and I had to cancel my hours for today and yesterday, and I will have to cancel them tomorrow because I'm unable to make any deliveries until I'm able to get my truck fixed. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But if we go to next week, see it says selecting hours will unlock on 5/5, which is today. So I have about another minute before that will unlock. So while we're waiting for that, I'll show you how to cancel. So I'm going to select today. You see these are the hours I had selected. I'll just hit cancel hours and it'll confirm, do you want to cancel hours? And I'm going to say cancel hours. And then see it just disappeared. It's 9:30. So let's back out of hours that way. We're going to go back and select hours. Next week, here we go. I want Friday. I want my Maryville zone, so make sure you go along the top there and you have which zone you want selected. Those are the hours I want. Upper right hand corner, hit save. I'm going to go to Saturday. I want the Maryville zone. So you're going to go along the top. And I'm just going to select the ones I want. Upper right hand corner, save. Thursday, I want the Gary zone. Look, they're already gone. That's how quick it took, and it's still 9:30. So Thursday we'll do we'll do 2 to 7 in Maryville. And Wednesday, I've never shopped there, but we're going to try LaPorte. And ooh, look at all those peak boosts. So LaPorte, I'll try from, we'll try from 2 to 6. And we're going to save that. And I'll explain peak boost here in a minute. And now Sunday the 12th is Mother's Day. So I'm going to skip that because I'm a mommy. And I want a day for myself as a mommy, and we're doing a family get-together. So I can't work Sunday, although Sunday normally is a very good day to work. Weekends are always busy. But again, because it's a holiday, it may be a very slow day, especially Mother's Day. Monday, I'm choosing not to work. And Tuesday, normally Tuesday and Wednesdays are the days I choose not to accept a shift. My husband stays off of work or Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So I like to at least have a day or two with him while he is off of work. But also depending on what's going on with my truck, I don't want to accept hours too early in the week here, just in case something else happens with my truck, I can't get it fixed, what have you. So I've selected the hours I wanted. And you can see up there, it tells me the week. It tells me it's May 12th and May 18th. And I've selected a total of 23 hours, which is a part-time job. Now, if I wanted, I could select hours every day. I could work all 7 days every week, do 3 hours a day, 7 hours a day, whatever. So you could easily work 50 hours in a week, or I should say select 50 hours. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll work the total 50, depending on whether or not it's busy. But you saw how fast on a day that hours were snatched up. They were totally unavailable, and that was within 30 seconds. It's now 9:33, so for S&Gs, let's go to Tuesday. Maryville, totally gone. Gary Zone, totally gone. LaPorte Zone, all that's left is 8 to 10 p.m. Let's see what days are left. Monday, pickup hours. LaPorte, there's quite a few hours left, and we'll go back to those red boxes in a second. Gary, totally gone. Maryville, totally gone. So it is imperative that when hours open up, you are there. So set an alarm, do whatever it is you need to do. But we're going to go back to LaPorte and explain something. So these little red boxes that say 2 and 1, those are a peak boost. So say you select the hours, and between the hours of noon and 1, if you are offered a batch and you accept that batch, you will be paid an extra $2. That is called a peak boost. And how you know there is a peak boost is if you look under the date, you'll have those flames. Sometimes you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 flames. It depends on your area. I have never seen more than 1 flame denoted under a day in my particular region. But that doesn't mean you can't have more than 1 flame in your region. And the peak boost varies, $1, $2. You can have 5, 7, 8, 12, 14. The peak boost can be a substantial amount of money. The highest peak boost I've received is $14 for a batch, on top of what I was already being paid for the batch and my tip. And the customer gave me a 5-star review, which was another $3. So those peak boosts are nice little incentives that can add up. So if you have 4 peak boosts in one shift and you've accepted a batch in each one, you could earn another $15, $20 on something like that. So just make sure that you get up at 9:30 to select your hours. The other thing is the zone. What zone do I shop in? So if you select a day, so we'll go to Tuesday again, and you can see here zones available for you to shop along the bottom. If you tap on that, it'll tell you what zones you've selected to shop in, and they're highlighted on the map or outlined on the map. You can see the Maryville one is to the very left, the Gary one is the blue one in the center, and the LaPorte one is to the one on the right or to the east on the map. But you also can tell that the Gary one and the Maryville one overlap quite a bit. So keep that in mind, that when you're in a particular zone, say you're in the Gary zone, the blue one, and it looks like a busy day, it's a weekend, it's the middle of a Saturday, you should be getting a lot of orders and nothing's coming up. Well, it could be because someone who's working in the Maryville zone, the one to the west, may be getting that order in that particular area. So just be mindful how far over certain zones may overlap. Why they overlap, I have no idea. I don't know how Instacart uses the metrics and compiles the data in order to set up the zones. But just be mindful. And if you zoom out, you can see I'm just outside of Chicago here. But this is where, if you're unfamiliar with particular area in your zone, if you zoom in, like this area or this zone, I've never shopped before. I'm not quite familiar with the area. It takes me quite some time in order to get to these particular towns. So that's why I've never shopped in it before, just due to distance. But if you zoom in, because LaPorte is a good sized town, but I can look in and, okay, there's several streets. And if I come up here, all right, well, there's Orchard Highlands. All right, that's a decent sized town. And you got Potawatomi, and then there's Michigan City. And Michigan City is a good size town as well. So, all right, I might have a good day there, just between Michigan City and LaPorte, and there's several good sized towns in between. So that's another way to know whether or not a zone is good for you or not. How do I select zones? Because Instacart will offer several to you when you first begin. So let's exit out of all of these. How you get to that is you go up to your menu option, go to the bottom and select Profile, slide up, and where it says Update Zones, tap on that. And it'll tell you all the different zones that are available to you. Now, as you can see, I do not have every single one that has been offered to me selected. I only have 3. This is where you'll go in and you will select or unselect your zones. And that's where you go to select hours and you can find out what areas, Rensselaer, Lowell, and Hammond, Chesterton, I just don't want to drive that far. So that's why I unselected them. So I've selected these three. I will try out LaPorte. If I don't like LaPorte, then I will unselect that and just stick with the Maryville and Gary zones. So that's how you look for your zones, you know where you can shop. So again, all you have to do is come to your dashboard, select your hours, you go into next week. That's where you pick up your hours, as you saw how quickly they come up. If you need to remember what your zone is, just tap on a day. Zone's available for you to shop. It'll bring up the map for you and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. And then up along the top here, we'll have the zones listed. My Gary zone, my Maryville zone, my LaPorte zone. So it's really important that when you're selecting hours that you're in the right zone. If you look underneath that, it says waitlist unavailable. So you have come, you see all the hours are snatched up, and you want to go on the wait list. That has to wait till Wednesday, 9:30 in the morning. You can put yourself on the wait list. Doesn't matter if you have early access or not, and I'll explain that in a minute. You have to wait till Wednesday. That's for everybody across the board. And then when Wednesday comes around, you can put yourself on the wait list. So let's see if we can show that. All right, so today is Sunday, but you can see these are wait list hours. So let's go to Tuesday. I want to wait list myself. I select which zone I want to wait list. So I want to wait list myself in the Gary zone. I hit wait list, and then this is what will come up. And then I can select, say, noon to 3. So if I select noon to 3, I would hit save. And then to the right of the times, you can see like a little person with a number. That's how many people are in front of you on the wait list. So there's 15, 13, 14 people ahead of me. So the chances of me being contacted that I can pick up hours is pretty slim. That's quite a few people in front of me. So be mindful of that as well. Doesn't mean you won't. I've had a couple where I've had 10, 12 people in front of me and I was contacted to say that my waitlist hours had opened. But if you do select waitlist hours, just make sure you keep your phone near you, so if you are contacted that those waitlist hours opened, that you can go grab those hours right away. Because when a waitlist hour opens, it doesn't open it just for you. It opens it to everyone. So if someone's going in just periodically to check to see if hours open, they could grab those hours before you. That's something I don't like about Instacart and the way the waitlist is set up. That if you are next in line, that they would give you like a 5-minute window to respond to a notification, but they don't. So when you get the thing, hey, your waitlist hours have opened, snatch that notification right away and try and grab those hours. Because a couple of times now, I've been notified of that. I went into it instantly and the hour was already snatched up. So just be mindful of that as well when you put yourself on the wait list. But as far as early access, what is that? If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see early access status, past hours, set vacation. So let's look at early access status. That is, you have to work a certain number of hours in order to select your hours, like I just did, Sunday morning. If you do not have enough hours, you have to wait till Wednesday morning before you can even select hours. And as you saw, they get snatched up pretty quick. So you either have to do a total of 25 weekend hours or a total of 90 hours over a 3-week period. Now, the odds are pretty high. I'm going to lose my current early access status since I've had to cancel several days of shifts, but they're pretty easy to build back up, so don't despair. It won't take very long to build up, especially the weekend hours. You can get that done in 2 weekends. So it's not that critical, but just be mindful of it. So you can see my progress, but my current status is I have 30 out of 25 hours, weekend hours that I need, or I've done a total of 74 out of 90 hours. So I definitely qualified through my weekend hours. That's why I was able to gain early access today. So just keep that in mind. Early access is also affected by any reliability incidents. that you have or customer complaints. So when you're selecting hours, make sure you can work them unless like something you can't control comes up, like with my truck. So because the more you cancel hours in a short amount of time, they may ding you with an incident. And the more incidents you have, it'll take away your early access status. So although say you have 37 out of 25 weekend hours, why am I not getting early access? Is because you have too many incident reports. So make sure you're mindful of that when you're selecting hours. They want you, if you need to cancel hours, like I canceled tomorrow's, to cancel your hours 6 hours or more before your shift is supposed to start. Cancel them as soon as you know you need to have, you have to. Don't wait till last minute, because that's where the incident report comes up. I have to call them tomorrow because I called them before I even canceled the shift I was in the middle of to let them know that my vehicle was being towed. And they said, well, it's automatically going to generate an incident report. Once you see that, give us a call back and we'll go ahead and take care of it, because that's obviously circumstances beyond your control. Does that mean they will do it every time? I don't know. Call. Always call. Customer support is pretty Johnny on the spot. So make sure you call and let them know what is going on. I waited to call with my incident report, so in case they need it, I don't know if they require it, but I have it, is a copy of the tow receipt. So I can show, hey, I didn't make this up. My vehicle was actually towed because I couldn't drive it anymore. That's why I couldn't finish my shift for the day. So just be mindful of those things. If you go back down, you can see your past hours. So if we're going to tap on that, you can see what I worked. You can see I only worked till 3:33. I was supposed to work till 6. So that was a big deal. 3 hours I lost there. But you can look down and see other hours I've worked. Now on Monday and Sunday there, my shifts were supposed to end at 7, but you can see one shift ended at 7:24 and one ended at 7:50. Be mindful of that as well when you are selecting hours. There are times they may ask, can you work later? Or if you would accept an order 10-15 minutes before your shift is supposed to end, the delivery shopping is going to push you past what your end time was. So 7 o'clock was my end time. If you cannot work past that shift time, don't accept that last order. So be mindful of that as well. There are times where I've had an order right near the end of my shift and I've had to not accept it, or I haven't accepted it because I could not go past my selected time. So be aware of that as well when you're selecting your hours. And the very last is set vacation. So if you select that, you can see I already have a vacation set mid-July. It's about a week. And it says just make sure you don't put in a vacation when you've already selected hours, because that could generate an incident report against you. So just be mindful of that and how you can set your vacation. Now, because I'm going to be gone for a week, that is going to impact my early access status, which I've already explained, and I'm well aware of that. Now, if you're looking to do this as a viable income, a full-time job, if you cannot afford to lose your early access status, think of that when you're setting your vacation. Just keep these things in mind, that it could impact your ability to maintain that early access status. If you're doing this part-time for extra money, that may not be such a big deal for you, but for those of you who are depending on this as an income, be mindful that you could lose that early access status. And then of course, if you need to cancel your vacation dates, you would tap on cancel vacation dates and go through that. But I'm not going to cancel mine. I'm actually looking forward to my vacation, so I want to keep that. So that's it. That's all you need to do to select hours. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit the like. The next video I'll do for you is earnings. Now that you've done all the stuff you're supposed to do, you've selected your hours, you've done a bunch of shifts, how do my earnings work? So the next video I'll do for you is how to navigate through your earnings, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.